elected officials have no impulse control, and apparently now we can't have nice things. Today's Fresh Hill is the Utah legislative tantrum continues. This morning, Utah's legislative leadership, including Senate President Stuart Adams and Speaker of the House Mike Schultz, stood at the Capitol with a ridiculous number of Republican legislators standing behind them to announce two big things. The first is that they are going to appeal the court's ruling on the new maps. As you all know by now, the 3rd District Court struck down the gerrymandered map that the legislature drew and put in place a new one, and because it's not gerrymandered, this gives us one really competitive seat for Democrats, which obviously these Republicans can't stand for because it's never enough for these people. So they are appealing this to the Utah Supreme Court and hoping that those justices will bail them out, which is unlikely given the fact that they already ruled against them multiple times. And the bigger news of the day is that they are calling a special session for December 9th, and during that special session, apparently with the full support of the governor, the Republican supermajority plans to introduce a constitutional amendment that they say is designed to clarify that ballot initiatives cannot override the Utah Constitution. But in reality, they want to make sure that Prop 4, the Citizens Ballot Initiative passed in 2018, can't constrain them ever again. And in fact, no ballot initiative can constrain the legislature, and that the legislature can overturn any ballot initiative they want for the rest of time forever. But they weren't done yet, because they also floated the idea of pushing back the candidate filing deadline. Right now, it's January 2nd through January 8th, and they're trying to do this to give the Supreme Court time to rule on this and to possibly overturn the 2026 maps that we just got. This is not normal. This is not okay. You cannot just change everything because you got a decision from another co-equal branch of government that you don't like. What is wrong with these people? What is wrong with them? They refuse to follow the law, and they are never satisfied with the amount of power that they have. They continue to lose in court. They lose because the courts are enforcing the Constitution. And rather than accepting the fact that they are acting unconstitutionally, they want to change and rewrite the Constitution. So if they pass this amendment in this special session in December, that means it will go to the voters in 2026 for an up or down vote on whether or not we want to give more power to the legislature and take power away from ourselves. They are desperate to overturn Prop 4, not just because they want to make sure that there is absolutely no Democrat ever possibly elected to Congress in Utah. This also means that there is an open door for the redrawing of state legislative districts that are also heavily gerrymandered. So if they let Prop 4 stand and they keep losing in courts, it means a lot of these people will either have to change the way that they behave or lose their elections. If this passes and they change the Constitution, it means that we get no independent redistricting ever again. We get no real ballot initiatives because the legislature can just override it no matter what. We'll have no meaningful checks on the legislature, not that we had many before, and we just have endless partisan gerrymandering. We know it's a holiday week, but it is really, really, really important that you contact your legislators because they will be voting on this amendment to put it on the ballot on December 9th. So please call, text, email them, send them a letter, I don't care, whatever you can do to tell them to vote no on this constitutional amendment. They're trying to take away power from you and give it to themselves. To all the Republican legislators out there, I hope that your one liberal niece or nephew gives you an earful around the Thanksgiving table on Thursday.